AI can write better than you, draw better, code faster, diagnoses diseases more accurately than you, then what is left? What is your and my edge as a human? Now, you're actually competing with machines that don't sleep, don't forget, they don't get distracted, and they've read more books than any professor alive. This is going to happen faster than you can ever imagine.
안녕하세요. 하트볼 스푼입니다. 오늘 시드니 하늘은 굉장히 평화로워 보이죠? 근데 제가 들여다보는 세상은 솔직히 말하면 곳곳이 전시 상황입니다. 며칠이면 끝날 줄 알았던 이란 이슈는 지금 몇 주째 계속되고 있죠. 그런데 저는 요즘 그 어떤 전쟁보다도 더 치열한 전쟁터를 보고 있습니다. 바로 AI로 인해 무너지고 있는 구직시장인데요. 몇 년은 걸릴 거라고 생각했던 AI의 발전 속도가 지금은 수개월 단위도 아니고 며칠 단위로 기하급수적으로 바뀌고 있습니다. 해외 전문가들의 말투는 차분한데요. 그 안에 담긴 다급함은 정말 무서운 정도입니다. 오늘은 그 얘기, AI가 일자리를 어떻게 바꾸고 있는지, 또 우리가 지금 상황에서 무엇을 해야 하는지 한번 정리해봤습니다.
At its current capability, AI agents could handle tasks that make up 44% of all US work hours. Robots add another 13% on top of that. That's just today's technology, which is also the worst this technology will ever be.
AI will take the office cubicle jobs first. Uninterested people will fail miserably. Hyper-curious people will win hugely.
If you think about everyone's job, your job, my job, anybody's job, ultimately it's a set of skills and tasks. If you break your job down like that, and then you kind of think about the ability for each task to be automatable by AI, you can quickly see that if your job is just a set of tasks that can be automated, you need to start finding a new job. So AI right now is really good at things like summarizing or rewriting or translating.
여기서 보시면 전문가들이 던지는 핵심 메시지는 하나입니다. 바로 일자리가 사라질 것이다 라는 건데요. 그리고 가장 먼저 위험해지는 건 공장 노동자보다도 바로 사무직, 화이트 칼라입니다. 사실 저도 예외가 아닌데요. 저는 20년 가까이 번역하고 요약하고 문장 다듬는 기술, 이런 기술들을 정말 치열하게 쌓아왔는데요. 지금 AI는 이 모든 것들을 단 몇 초 만에 그냥 해내버립니다. 이걸 직접 체감하는 순간 저는 이런 생각이 들더라고요. 아, 내 직업에 정말 너무 머지않았구나. 자, 이쯤 되면은 이런 생각이 들죠. 과연 내가 AI랑 경쟁 자체가 되긴 할까? 나는 이제 끝난 거 아닐까? 근데요 여러분, 여기서 생각을 한번 뒤집어 볼 필요가 있습니다. 우리가 싸워야 하는 상대는 AI라는 기계가 아닙니다. 바로 진짜 경쟁자는 그 AI를 쓰는 사람인 거죠. 해외 전문가들이 제시하는 답은 단순합니다. AI를 잘 쓰는 인간이 되라는 거예요.
But I want you to still remember that you're not competing with the machines. You're competing with the humans who use them. So the game hasn't changed completely yet, but the gear and the speed has. You can still win the old-fashioned way. Outwork, outlearn, outship the next guy. But some of your competition, well, they just are moving faster than you can even imagine. We're going to have this barbelled world where on one side, you're going to have someone who hasn't even figured out you can voice to text on your phone. And on the other side, you're going to have people who are running small armies of robots running circles around normal people.
I think I heard you at one of the conference talking that a lot of people are hiring generalists now. Mm-hmm. So you don't necessarily climb up the ladder. You expand horizontally, exactly. Acquiring new skills. Do you see that trend as well?
So I think first and foremost, the really important thing, like since the beginning of LinkedIn, the feature that is requested most from members is show me what a typical career path is supposed to look like. LinkedIn, you have all this data. So if I want to become a CFO or a CEO or an accountant or whatever, what is the path that people take? And the reality is in the data, there is no such thing as a linear career path. Like it's all over the place. So the more that people first and foremost recognize that you have to take your career into your own hands, there's no natural path that exists that you just get on, I think is really, really important. Right now, it's more important than ever, though, because skills are changing. The types of skills that are necessary for a specific role on LinkedIn have changed north of 25%, over the last couple of years alone. We expect they'll change by 70% by 2030, largely influenced by AI and new tools and new ways of doing these professions. So, I often, when I talk to people about what they should do with their career, it's less about where do you want to be in 5 years, and it's more about over the next few months, like what new skills do you want to learn? Because to your point, these roles are flattening. Generalists are more and more where people are going these days.
So what are the top skills people should be adding to their LinkedIn right now?
It's funny. There's this, this huge demand kind of on both sides of the spectrum. Obviously, like AI literacy is important. And I think no matter what your role, your profession, familiarizing yourself with these tools is a really, really smart investment in your own career. You don't have to love them. You don't have to use them all the time, but just familiarizing yourself, putting yourself in the mindset that I'm going to figure out how I can be better at my job through AI is one thing. So a set of AI skills. But just as important on the other side are human skills, curiosity, creativity, courage, communication, compassion, the ability to work with other people, the ability to sit down with someone and actually have a conversation. You can't just be mired in using technology in a bubble and be successful in a lot of work settings. You have to be able to, disagree and commit with someone, to be able to communicate with someone, to help galvanize people to get something done. So I think the key right now is that combination of, learn those AI skills and then figure out a way to be strong on those, more human skills. They're typically called soft skills. I think that's a misnomer. They don't, soft kind of feels like it's less important. I think they're more important than ever.
Everything you're doing, just ask this one question. Can AI do this for me? Can AI help me with this? Then go actually ask AI if it can do the thing that you're asking. Every time you are even slightly tempted to do it by yourself, try to do a better version of it inside AI. Second, don't just use ChatGPT. Use Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Kling. Go experiment with all of these. Become the person that becomes so unnaturally curious about how to get superhuman skills, nobody can stop you.
I have a contrarian take that I think writing is actually more important now than ever before, because writing is a proxy of understanding. And in a world of AI, what I'm finding when I look at like my innovation teams or where breakthroughs are coming from in my company, it's actually someone had a really good question.
Yes.
So they were like, could we theoretically analyze all of our sales calls using Claude to see if there's something interesting in there? Now that starts with someone understanding sales calls, understanding the tools that allow you to analyze them. They have lots of reference points. They understand lots of variant things. And that means they ask a really great question. So for me, one of the ways that I've been able to understand more things is just to write more often about them.
Can I go one step further?
Yeah, please.
And that is a process called pause, reflect, document. And pause, reflect, document, if you do it correctly, you go into nature, away from noise and away from technology, and you take a pen and a paper and you sit in nature on a bench and you just pause and just let some boredom set in. You reflect on what's going on. You try and zoom out to the bigger picture. You do some journaling and you do some dot connecting where you say, what are some of the dots that have happened in the last 5 years? What are some of the bigger picture impacts that I've made? What are some of the problems that I've struggled with? What if this was possible? What if that was possible? We live in this incredible fast-paced world where the one thing that no one allows themselves to do is to pause, reflect, document with a pen and paper. And those people who I know who are doing incredibly well are doing more and more of this.
Yeah.
The one thing for anyone watching or listening is that don't use AI as a search tool. Don't use it the way you used it a year ago. Give AI your hardest problem and say, hey, help me to solve this problem. So for example, you might say, I'm really struggling with these areas of my life. Here's all the data. Here's all the information. Here's the PDF documents. Here's the backstory. Help me solve this. Help me write it. What kind of piece of software might I be able to use to build here? Play with these toys called AI tools. Someone has given you a free iPhone, which you can just use, called AI tools on the free account.
That is such good advice.
글로벌 지성들이 우리에게 던지는 아주 구체적이고 현실적인 생존 솔루션 3가지를 정리해 볼게요. 첫 번째는 AI랑 무조건 친해지라는 것입니다. 챗GPT 하나만 쓰지 말고 클로우드, 퍼플렉시티, 제미나이 등 다양한 툴을 동시에 써보세요. 똑같은 업무를 여러 AI들에게 지시를 한번 해보는 겁니다. 그리고 이 똑똑한 부하 직원들이 내놓는 답안지들을 쫙 펼쳐놓고 보스인 내가 가장 좋은 것을 선별해서 엮어내는 연습을 하는 겁니다. 두 번째는 기업가 마인드를 장착하는 건데요. 이게 당장 1인 회사를 차리라는 게 아닙니다. 내가 지금 하는 업무 안에서 AI라는 수석 인턴을 거느린 보스의 마인드로 일하라는 뜻이에요. 평범한 사람들은 위기 앞에서 두려움을 보지만 기업가는 기회를 봅니다. AI한테 물어볼 때 두루뭉술하게 질문하지 말고 명확한 맥락과 목표를 담아서 프롬프트를 던져보세요. 예를 들어 마케팅 전략을 짜줘 이게 아니라 내가 30대 직장인이고 부업으로 콘텐츠를 시작할 건데 팔로워 0명에서 시작하는 첫 달 전략을 좀 짜줄래? 이런 식으로 구체적으로 물어보는 겁니다. 질문의 수준이 곧 내 실력이 되는 겁니다. 마지막으로 AI 기술에 반드시 우리는 인간 기술을 더해야 합니다. AI가 1초 만에 완벽한 답을 내놓는 시대일수록 역설적으로 멈춰서 생각하는 사람이 이기는 겁니다. 잊지 마셔야 할 게 부하 직원인 AI에게 최종적으로 어떤 일을 맡길지 그 지시는 결국 여러분의 머리와 가슴에서 나와야 합니다. AI가 써준 답을 그냥 복사해서 붙여넣는 게 아니라 멈추고 생각하고 거기에 내 생각을 더해서 다시 직접 써내려가는 그 과정이 반드시 필요하다는 거죠. 또 공감, 협업, 호기심, 그리고 인간적인 취향 이런 것들이 AI 세상에서는 평범한 사람과 위대한 사람을 가르는 유일한 무기가 될 겁니다. 정리하면 이겁니다. 우리는 AI와 싸우는 게 아닙니다. AI를 더 잘 쓰는 사람과 싸우고 있는 거예요. 그리고 가장 기술적인 사람이 아니라 가장 인간적인 사람이 AI 시대의 승자가 될 가능성이 높습니다. 앞으로 하트풀 스푼에서는 단순한 뉴스 요약이나 글로벌 인사이트 소개가 아니라 그 속에 숨겨진 시대의 문법과 사고법을 함께 나눠보려고 합니다. AI가 모든 걸 대신해주는 세상처럼 보이지만 역설적으로 나라는 사람의 취향과 질문이 가장 비싸지는 시대가 오고 있거든요. 지금까지 하트풀 스푼이었습니다.